me.
And call you guys.
You ready? A country with an island vibe. I swear Guyana nice. And yeah, we just down all night. Mixing the 5-year beats with eyes. So Tony got the whole place hype. And we celebrating life. Coffee in the morning, so we toast it. Say we just fine iron, but emotion. No, we ain't boasting. No. Oh no. I ain't going nowhere. I love this place. U-I-N-A. Oh no. Welcome to Moko. Every country want friendship, like the village on the East Bank. But you can't hang if you ain't young. For my first interview, I tell Felice thanks. And I brought you back my passport and got a stamp. You can't dance abroad if you can't dance a yard. We gon' catch it when it's good, cause we say when it's hard. Not for them, love this country and people don't spend it long. Them under them is fraud, not for them sell the land. For pay rent on another land. When Guyana got a lot of land, but they blame the government. But this nation got God cover us. Blessing on everyone, listen brother man. Put 2 and 2 together, don't listen to the one. Some of them just like to alcohol and heap of stuff. Anywhere we go, we just run. Buy this a GT boy, yeah, we got it in with blood, so. Oh no, I ain't going nowhere. I love this place. G-Y-N-A. Oh no, welcome to Moko. Oh yeah. Yeah, a country with an island vibe. I swear Guyana nice. And yeah, we the down all night. Making the 5-year beats with eyes. The Tony got the whole place high. And we celebrating life. Coffee in the morning, so we toast it. Say we just fine iron, but emotion. No, we ain't boasting. No, oh no. I ain't going nowhere. I love this place. G-Y-N-A. Oh no. Welcome to Moko. Oh yeah. A country with the island vibe. With the island vibe. This is a country with the island vibe. A country with the island vibe. I swear Guyana nice.
Caution them.
AG.
Make it an anthem. Land of Guyana, of rivers and plains. I'm a real Guyanese. From the time when I step on the scene to the moment me leave. I'm a real Guyanese. From the red to the black to the gold to the white to the green. I'm a real Guyanese. And nothing can change me. So nothing can change me. I'm a real Guyanese. I live living in a foreign country. So nothing can change me. 6 races, beautiful faces. Put your hand them in the air if you're not racist. I pledge myself to honor always. I will never disgrace this. They want peace, how we mop. Wait your mothers, we not give you that. No, not one caress. Not a blade of grass. Listen up, 83,000 square miles. Oh my God, we find aisle. Me not tell you no lie. Guyana nice, but no swear for my life. Land of many waters, bring out all the leaders in the sun, them and the daughters. If you want to, we fight. No, not at all. I'm a real Guyanese. From the time when I step on the scene to the moment me leave. I'm a real Guyanese. From the red to the black to the gold to the white to the green. I'm a real Guyanese. And nothing can change me. So nothing can change me. I'm a real Guyanese. I live in a foreign country. So nothing can change me. Big up, stop, broke. Allow it tough crook. It now is pretty son about a try act shook. Got a big up GRM, me know I'm a tax look. And when me have the money, me can go for my bank book. Beautiful Guyana, we there in South America. Land of kite, the flora and the fauna. Independent people, so we do what we wanna. Never violate because you could become a Ghana. Them love we country, all the foreigners, them children salute you. In the Indian temple, love we border, we no want no problem. Never fall, we forever standing. Me love how God make you. would never forsake you. Unique in every way, could I never mistake you. If Guyana was a girl, I surely would date you. That's why them won't take you. I'm a real guy unique. From the time when I step on the scene to the moment me leave. I'm a real guy unique. From the red to the black to the gold to the white to the green. I'm a real guy unique. And nothing can change me. So nothing can change me. I'm a real guy unique. I live living in a foreign country. So nothing can change me.
This is Quincy Anderson. You know I love my country. There's no other country better than mine. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil too. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Hey.
الصبح بدا من طلعته والليل الدجى من ظفرته الله 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 هو
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today as warriors in your kingdom, ready to fight against the spiritual battles that we face each day. We know that we are not fighting against flesh and blood, but against the powers of darkness and evil in the heavenly realms. We ask for your strength, your guidance, and your wisdom as we face these battles. Help us to put on the full armor of God, so that we can stand firm against the enemy and his schemes. We pray for protection over our minds and hearts, that we may not be swayed by the lies and deceptions of the enemy. We pray for courage and boldness to speak your truth in a world that is filled with darkness. We ask that you would surround us with your angels, that they may guard us and protect us from all harm and danger. We declare that no weapon formed against us shall prosper, and that every tongue that rises against us in judgment shall be condemned. We pray for our brothers and sisters in Christ who are facing persecution and oppression around the world. We ask that you would strengthen them, comfort them, and give them the grace to endure. We pray that their faith would be a shining light in the midst of darkness, and that their witness would bring many to salvation. Lord, we know that you are sovereign over all things, and that nothing is beyond your control. We ask that you would help us to trust in you, even when we cannot see the way forward. Give us the peace that passes all understanding, and the assurance that you are with us always.
गुरुर् ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः.
Morning, y'all. Kevon put on his mic again. So, Kevon, yeah.
Good morning to each and every one of us. Thank you for joining in this morning, and my apologies for the mic. Good morning, and thank you for being a part of the program this morning. And I must say a special good morning to those who are on already. We have Gail Bacchus, good morning. Virginia Khan, good morning. Jasmine Bazio, Jamila, we have Damon is that Suku, Rennie Bipat, Robert Ram. Good morning to each and every one of you, and thank you for being a part of the wrap again this morning. As you come in, guys, please take the opportunity to share the live, and bring in someone, and let us have a peaceful and a fruitful discussion this morning. So I take this opportunity to introduce our producer here, Courdel, again. Good morning, Courdel, and how are you this morning, bro?
Morning. morning, everybody. Morning, Kevon.
Cordell, this morning, I know behind the scene, Cordell after I always send you a message on WhatsApp. Your mic. But this morning, you didn't send me no message. So
Actually, I
Cordell.
did. I did. Check your phone. It's there, but you just didn't open it, brother.
Okay.
You
All right,
struggle.
Cordell. So what's going on this morning, my brother?
It's a slightly overcast morning here in Georgia and on the west side. But nonetheless, we're up and about, and we're doing what we do best, keeping the people
Exactly.
informed. This
Exactly.
morning, I'm excited about the show. We have one of our young leaders here who has been making his name around the place during the run up to the local government elections. And he is now going to be one of the sitting councillors of the new council here in Georgetown. So
Nice.
it can only augur well for the city. So I'm excited to hear from this young man. I think the first time I met him was on nomination day. I think that was the first time I met this young man. And during the interview that I had with him, one of the first things I asked him was, what are you going to bring to the table if you're elected to the council? And one of the first things he said to me was, for the years that he has been living in the area there, he has never seen his councillor. Persons don't know who the councillor is. So his first task, or his first thing that he wanted to accomplish, is to make persons in the community know who the councillor is, and at least make them aware of what they should be expecting, and also from his point of view, find out what are the needs of that community. So the young man has won his constituency. He's going to be heading to the council, and we'll be hearing from him this morning, Mr. Alfonso Diarma. So, I'm excited to hear from him and what the plans are in terms of moving the country forward. George Chung, I should say. Sorry, George Chung.
This morning, I must say a special thank you to the Sally Jones, the Sobobi Pat and Julius Lois crew. You know why? You know why I say so? If they take them alone, they spy on we the spy on them too, though. We the spy on them. Anyway, I see them over another place this morning, but since the program start, I see them here. Yeah, I spy on y'all, Sally. I spy on you and Soman all y'all. They want give me blow Courdel, but we take it, we gonna step up the game and we can do we walk. We take it no blow on this show. No blow, Sally. Right here.
Oh my goodness.
All right, Courdel. So let us take the opportunity to bring in our guest so we can have a fruitful discussion this morning. And good morning to you, Mr. Alfonso. And how are you, brother?
Good morning, guys. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me back on the show.
Okay. I mean, we have to. You perform well. You won your area. We'd have no reason not to have you here.
Cordell,
That's
Cordell,
true. That's true.
one of the take we like you mentioned Mr. Alfonso, you had an interview with him and so I mean a discussion and so on. And then we brought him on the show. So Mr. Alfonso, now that you well technically there, you will be there in full effect very soon. So myself and Cordell will oftenly also bring you and the counselors on the show, our counselors, and we will ensure that you deliver what you promise, my brother.
Mm.
But we know we have the confidence in you, and we know that you will do it as well.
No, yeah, but we definitely need our feet held to the fire because we do need to deliver for the people of Georgetown, not just the people who voted for us, but for everybody here in Georgetown. So
Right.
that's important. Our feet do need to be held to the fire. We need to be held accountable as often as possible by as many people
Exactly.
as possible. So
Exactly.
So, Alfonso, before we jump into the nitty gritty, when did you first confirm that you had won the area?
the same night, there was a horrible. We had the SOPs. There was a horrible period of about 50 to 60 minutes where we thought we had lost, and the mood in our command center was very somber. But we refused to take it, and we went back through the SOPs and realized that we had miscounted, and we actually came out ahead. So right then and there, the mood changed. There was a lot of yelling, a lot of happy screaming.
Yeah. I can imagine. So you have this golden opportunity here. You'll be heading to the council soon. Um, and before I even get into that, were you surprised with your opponents and their posture post LGE elections?
Well, my direct opponent was the deputy mayor,
Right.
Alfred Mentor, and he actually ran a very clean, very nice, very cordial campaign that was really focused on the issues. So I do wanna.
No, well, I asked in that context because um, whilst the opposition would have won Georgia, the People's Progressive Party would have gained seats in this area, and let's say you were not with the People's Progressive Party and you were with the opposition, would you deem this local government elections the outcome as a win if you were not with the People's Progressive Party?
Well, only if I lived in a world of denial. I mean, it was clearly a blowout.
Mm,
To first of all to not compete, to not even compete in a large percentage of the LAs, and then to lose by huge margins the ones that you did compete in, and to end up losing 66, is it, of the 66 of the 80 LAs, and then to somehow think that that's a win and that augurs well for the future of your party. I mean, that's straight denial.
right.
That's the only thing I can say about that.
Yeah. So you're about to head into the council. I'm not too afraid of when this whole swearing in and that kind of thing will happen. But we know that there are several plans for the city, live streaming the council meetings, more green spaces, roundabouts, manicured parapets. I know that they want to have better financial management at the council, um, elderly care for the day and night care for youths, and things like that. Your area, it is not one that um, wholeheartedly would support the PPPC.
No.
You are on the ground. You met with the persons. That convincing process of selling your manifesto and what plans you, Adwin, and the other candidates had for Georgetown. Do you really think people bought into it? Um, we know flooding and garbage collection and the parapet weeding, those things persons are peeved about. But tax collection, parking in the city, those smaller things that don't really jump out at persons. How are you and the rest of candidates, or I should say councillors from the People's Progressive Party side, planning to tackle those other smaller issues that are affecting persons? Take for instance, I know there's a woman here watching from Campbellville. She has a school for special needs. She's saying that because of the road works in the area, I think you spoke with her as well, Miss Smith.
Yes,
So
I did
because
speak
of the
with her.
road works, she's experiencing some flooding. To speak to those persons and those persons who have issues outside of the major flooding, garbage collection, and part with cleaning that we hear about. Speak to those persons.
Well, the I think the most important thing that I can say is that your voice matters, and me and other counselors and other um, officials, I want to say
Mm,
government officials, your voice matters a lot to us, a lot. And so I know that we were going to do our utmost to make sure that. Sorry, I just saw a really stupid comment come up on the screen.
yeah, I saw it. We're gonna block him. We're gonna block.
Sorry, I lost my complete train of thought.
Yeah, please block Jim.
Yeah, I know. I was saying that we're going to do our utmost.
Mm,
One of the things that you said, Courdel, is that that's important for us is to be a lot more visible on the ground, right? The only way that we can work with our constituents and the residents of Georgetown to fix the issues is by being visible and by being accessible, right?
mm,
We can't sit behind a gilded desk in an ivory tower, separating ourselves from our communities and expect to drive change, right? So
right.
we have to make ourselves accessible. We have to find ways to be more visible and to um, to put our feet to the fire so that we can actually work in the interests of our people.
Mm.
That's there's no other way around it.
So the groundwork will not stop. You guys will still be going house to house, meeting with the constituents, and actually having a feel of what's actually happening on the ground. Yourself, you're not gonna rely on
Not at
third
all.
hand information.
Not at all. Look, I haven't been sworn in yet, and I've already had a neighborhood meeting, constituency meeting with residents, and His Excellency actually took time off to come and meet with our constituents in Lamaha Gardens and in Newtown
Mm,
yesterday. And then just
mm.
after that, we had a virtual town hall meeting with the residents of Bel Park. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, and we haven't even been sworn in yet, but this is important, and we need to hit the ground running. So,
So
um,
that's the pace I'm talking about, Kevon. That's the pace I'm talking
Exactly.
about. Imagine before they were sworn in, they working. But actually, before
Exactly.
the elections, these people working.
Exactly.
They
Exactly.
related.
Exactly.
So I should call Alfonso Councillor elect.
Exactly.
Right? He's,
Exactly. By
he's
rights.
working.
By
He's
rights.
working. He's working.
And Alfonso, one of the thing, I mean, it's just a bit of advice, and I don't even think. Well, let me say a bit of advice, and we know, first, you need to, grasp, or I should say, follow the pattern of quality leadership, like our president, as a counselor, and I'm going to say counselor. And for matter of fact, Corda, let us correct ourselves this morning. For matter of fact, we have to say counselor, right? Counselor, right? Secondly, meaningful consultation is very important as a counselor. We've seen it. I've seen it personally under the coalition where you planting tomato, but they come in and tell you that no, you can't plant tomato. You got to plant corn, right? The point is that people wants to go into these various constituencies and communities and tell people what must be done, but you on the ground there, you understand the culture of the people, you understand your community more. And it is important as well to engage and have meaningful consultations and with everybody. And that's the other key thing. I saw previous councillors under the APNU when they go into an area, and because Courdel might be of another political party, because Courdel is PVP, I'm going to pass Courdel House. But that one house that you pass can be a distraction to the entire development within that community. So it's important that you consult and engage with everybody in the community. You don't care religion, you don't care political affiliation or anything, because your main purpose now there as a councillor is to engage, consult, and have the work being done. So, and I'm pretty much sure, Counselor, that you will do well. And I'm pretty much sure, just like I have the confidence in you, I have the confidence in all our counselors around Guyana, right, who have been elected, I will say elected, and been placed in these councils. They will make a difference. They will make a difference. We know that you have some challenges within that council there to deal with the other side who don't have a vision, but I guarantee you that the support by the government will ensure that you deliver as promised as well. So that's just my bit to you, Counselor.
Thank you, Kevin.
Alfonso, so when is it actually you guys are going to be sworn in as counselors and actually be able to officially take up your post?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet, Courdel. We're still waiting on guidance from City Hall, from GCOM, and from Freedom House. I'm not certain, but and we're not waiting. We're not slacking around waiting for it to happen. Right, we're on the ground running, and I just want to Kevon's point. Looking at the SOPs and the results of the election, I know, or we know that not everybody in the area voted for us, right? But we emerged the winners in the constituency, and it's important now for us to forget that division. People who didn't vote for the PPP in constituency 4. Um, it doesn't matter if they didn't vote for us. We still need to work in their best interest because at the end of the day, we're all Guyanese, right? So this sort of attitude that existed before, where you skip somebody's house or you don't consult with them because they're not party supporters or party members, that needs to stop. The
Right.
community as a whole needs to develop. Georgetown as a whole needs to be transformed, and we can't just work in the interest of one particular side. Everybody needs to benefit.
Exactly, exactly.
So, Alfonso, one of the promises in the manifesto it is increased constabulary patrols, more community policing groups, and functioning fire hydrants around the city. Now, these 3 points. One, for persons who don't know, policing in the city it falls under the city constabulary, especially in that Stabrook Market around City Hall area there, right? Do you believe that or how long do you, well, you haven't done an assessment as yet, but do you believe if eventually the city constabulary would be able to take over law and order in the city, traffic control, and the responsibilities that fall under the city constabulary to investigate burglary and these kinds of things, provide security and adequate security at the markets? Um, how tall of an order do you think that will be to get all these things regulated? And can it be done actually? Because you guys are you're coming into a council that has had a lot of mismanagement, a lot of the resources squandered. So I know it's a tall order, but do you think it can be done?
Yeah, I know we have a tremendous team going into City Hall, but also supporting us in the back end. So I'm extremely confident that it can be done. As to the specifics of how it can be done, I can't speak to them right now. Just because I'm not sure what we're gonna find, what we're gonna get at City Hall. But I know that just from the tremendous team that we have assembled going into City Hall and also working with us, if we could flip this constituency that had voted that had been managed by the PNC for so many decades, with a tremendous team, I'm certain that we can achieve anything else in the city.
What's important to note is that you said there are persons in these areas that did not vote for the PPPC, and those persons they shouldn't worry about feeling neglected, and I think that's very important for people to understand that Mr. Diarma says whilst he represents the People's Progressive Party Civic as a party, he is saying to us this morning that he's a counselor for all the constituents in constituency 4, if I'm correct. Is that the right constituency?
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely. Yeah,
you know,
and Georgetown as a whole.
right. So moving forward, you're waiting to go into council. you guys have hit the ground running. You're starting to interact with the constituent, continuing, I should say, to interact with these constituents. You're waiting to be sworn in. What else is there left to do than other than to, take up your post? You just waited.
Yeah, we're waiting, but like I said, we don't want to just wait. We're already ready, hit the ground running.
So let's talk about the candidates who were not as successful as you. What is the mood like with them in terms of their areas and what they would be doing going forward?
Well, one. I think what's most important is to know that well, yes, it's disappointing that they didn't emerge victorious. They're not defeated. They're still extremely optimistic and extremely driven to continue to drive those changes that they promised the people in their communities one way or another. One
So
way or
they're
another.
still working like you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm, 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 mm.
Absolutely. Those things that were promised to those communities, um, our party has been very clear that we will deliver. That we will deliver on those promises, one way or another. Right?
Mm,
We're a
mm.
party that we keep our promises, and those things will be done.
Okay,
Exactly.
okay. Kevin, you're jumping in there?
Yeah, yeah. Well, Carter, before moving forward, I mean, we don't mind. I've noticed we've gained a lot of attention here this morning. We have a lot of trolls here coming, and it is good that we getting the attention of
At
them.
least they're
You know,
watching.
yeah,
They're here to
that's the
see the
main thing.
Armos plans.
That's the main thing. Mister. Again, let me say, Counselor, what is one of the thing that I want to highlight here, Cordell, and I want our supporters to understand those who were disappointed, especially in Linden, who were disappointed that we had not won this this municipality, or we had not won the Jarchang municipality. What is more so important, and I was saying this to two-person yesterday, is that despite we did not won these municipalities or these constituencies and so on, we have penetrated a lot of community constituencies. Like, for instance, councillors constituency, the PVP never won that constituency based on my research, right? I don't think the PVP ever won that constituency. And therefore, now we have councillor here who won the constituency that the former deputy mayor had, which is which is something to note, right? That the deputy, we have, let us put it this way, a brand new candidate heading in to
Yeah.
a councillor, who might not would have had much political experience and so on, but based on his knowledge of development and what is needed in his constituency, he contests against the former deputy mayor and beat him. You understand? And this is what our people need to understand. Um, I keep saying the older folks will say Rome wasn't built in a day. The most important thing to note is that we are penetrating, we are moving up all the time. I have not seen from 2018 to 2020, we have increased more than we have increased rapidly. I can say that, and I'm gonna still boast. I'm happy about Linden. I'm still happy because moving from 400 votes to 2,400 something votes, an increase of 512%. What's not to be happy about that, right?
Yeah,
Especially knowing that this is always being, this is always, it's a culture of the people who voted strongly for the PNC. And to know that we penetrated 2,000 more votes. And the thing of it, while they're going around, they keep saying it now. What's their preach now, Cordell? Is that we buying the people. Well, let me
uh,
tell you something. Yeah,
Bro.
that's in Linden. Well, listen, Cordell. Well, if we can buy, just to show, if we can come into your house and buy, that means that you don't have nothing valuable to sell, right? And yes, we did. We buy what we do. We ask for their support. We plead for their support, and people. And you know what's the other important thing, Cordell? Oh, I guarantee out of that 2,000 votes, I guarantee at least 1,700. You understand? 1,700 were young people.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
understand?
But
I'll,
also
Feel
Kevin,
penetration.
also this thing where we supposedly buy votes is extremely disrespectful to the people who we convince
Exactly.
who were once your
Exactly.
supporters are no longer your supporters. What are you saying about them, that they can't think for themselves, that they're so easily persuaded by how much is it that they're saying that we're giving them, by $5,000? I
yesterday I
saw
heard
a
it was
nomination.
20.
20. Oh, it's gone up now. I saw
Yeah.
on nomination day the leader of the opposition telling his supporters, that whatever few number of people that were there, not to worry, because the PPP has bought the black vote. He said that, and I posted that video on my social media pages. I found that to be extremely disrespectful.
Yeah.
That's what he thinks about fellow Afro Guyanese who don't vote PNC. That they're so easily bought by lucre, so easily persuaded by $5,000, that you know, what does that say? That's extremely disrespectful.
And
It
you
is
know the other thing,
ridiculous.
Cordell? Right in Linen here, they're cussing their own Afro Guyanese brothers and sisters to say that how they were bought out with a box of food and $5,000. Cordell, the last $5,000 and box of food story I know, right, is in 2018, the 24th of December, in front of the Parliament, when the no confident motions were passed. I say that here, Cordell, because I am confident, I'm 100% sure I can say that I was out there, and also I was one of the person they strategically used, where they brought, I think it was $1.5 million, and there was a bus park over the road. So when the persons come to me, yeah, I come from Borbies, I come from Bartik, I come from here. Yeah, collect your $5,000 at the bus over there, go collect your box of cook up. So they remember what they did, and now they're trying to throw that over to the PPP. So I could never recall no way in Linden that we had cook up on $5,000. If they did, I'm personally going to investigate, and I need my $5,000. You
But
understand? I'm going, because if that happened and passed me, something wrong. You understand?
so same thing you guys talking about yesterday. I'm at a location and this gentleman approaches me and he's talking about not seeing me after the local government election. So I'm like, but what reason would I have to hide? The party I support would have won if you just look at the numbers. And he's going on and he's saying, yes, y'all give the people $20,000 and they're still going to vote on the vote with the one. So I said to him, I said, sir, I wish PPP start suing people for that. You understand me? To say, well, you say we pay people, you bring the evidence, or let me take you to court for it. Because I think it's as Alfonso said, very disrespectful. Because you are saying that people could make a choice. They could use their brain to say, hey, I want to choose this or I want to choose that. They had to get a $520,000 to vote. Very disrespectful. You trying to tell me that Afro Guyanese only like money? They can't think. No
And
Afro
that's what,
Guyanese
and
ain't
that
logical.
is so, man, that's so
It
disrespectful,
got
buddy.
me. It got me so vexed. Now my point is, it's not coming from Indo Guyanese. It ain't coming from a Amerindian. It ain't coming from a Chinese. It ain't even coming from somebody mixed like Alfonso. It coming from your own Afro Guyanese partner. And that's the thing that is like, I can't process it. I can't process it. I can't process it. You telling people that the only reason they could vote for the People's Progressive Party is because they were paid. They got no other reason. They got no other consideration that would make them want to do that. And I think
It's
that's
this.
ridiculous.
It is, but it also shows. It also it's symptomatic of why the PNC has lost so many votes from 2015 to now. I mean, what happened? They emerged. They came on the scene. This whole APNU AFC nonsense came on the scene, and they came here with a transformative agenda or whatever that was. And within a few years, they lost so much support, but they're still clinging on to the notion that they own the Afro-Guyanese vote. They don't. You don't own anybody's vote by virtue of their race or by their religion. That's absurd. You have to earn it by working to improve their lives, by working to transform their lives. And they haven't done it. And they're clinging to this idea that just because black, they can claim your vote, and if you don't vote for them, then you are their enemy.
You're a sellout.
Then you're a sellout. You're an Uncle Tom. You're a soup drinker. You're a house slave. You're a house. They call you house slaves. Do you hear that video of the was it one of the sitting MPs with the whole Mace debacle?
Yeah, Miss Philadelphia.
She's standing over the young man, and she's pointing her finger at him and calling him a house slave.
And for matter of fact, let me correct that. She even went more raw than that. She didn't say house slave. She called the man a house Negro.
Sorry, a house Negro.
Understand?
Yeah, she was politically correct.
Yeah.
Not a you house Negro.
But this is why and they will continue to lose support because their ideas if your ideas aren't good enough to win supporters over to your side, you can start to ad hominem attacks and call names, right? That views out stories. You leave that in the 1870s, right? That's enough now to win votes. It's not enough, and that's why they will continue to lose votes. People aren't necessarily going to say anything, but when they go into that booth, they're going to remember the number of times that their uncle, that their cousin, that their brother, that their sister was called a house slave, was called a drinker, was called an Uncle Tom, was called a sellout, was called a traitor and they're going to vote for the opposing party. Your ideas aren't good enough, and you can't curse people or shame them into voting for you if your ideas aren't good enough. It's not going to happen.
You know, Courdel, and Councillor, you know what I did my own analysis and my breakdown and so on. And remember, local government elections are held within a certain boundaries, right? And I did my own calculations. And that shows, based on my calculations, the People's Progressive Party Civic would have gained something over 25,000 votes. Mind you, 25,000 votes can give you a minimum of 3 seats on the national level.
Yeah,
and we ain't talking about people voting all across Guyana, right? And I want all of them that talking up and going on bad to know, and all who talking about elections and early elections, the PPP is ready. Because based on our calculations right now, it was this same calculations that Bar Jagdeo saw in 2018 and decided that, you know what, we're going to move with a no confident motion. You understand? It's the same calculations. And look at that. It wasn't by so much. We see that we could have taken by a seat or two. But now, based on the numbers that we have, if we go to general elections now, the People's Progressive Party would take nothing less than 5 seats added to what they have right now in the National Assembly.
But I want to ask Alfonso that too. Alfonso, I've been hearing the narrative of from the opposition that the PPP was planning to hold general regional elections in December, snap elections. Now, I don't know how politically inclined you are, but looking at what the PPP is doing, the response of the population, in your mind, would it make sense, given the results of the local government elections and that kind of thing, would it make sense to call snap elections in December politically? What do you think about that?
Listen, firstly, I'm not sure why His Excellency and the government would want to cut your term short. Right? Why would you want to cut your term short by what 2.5? By by half, right?
Right.
Because what the Constitution says that you must go to elections. Was it 3 months after Parliament? 5 years and 3 months after Parliament has been convened. If I'm not mistaken. So you have
Mm-mm.
until what, December 2025. So why would you want to call snap elections and cut out half of your term? That doesn't make sense. And secondly, I mean, I don't know where but they have specific dates. Like they call December 18th. I'm not sure. I don't know. Is it that they call it specific dates for added credibility? I'm not sure, but it also says something about what they're thinking. They're seeing that we've picked up enough seats, enough votes for additional seats in Parliament, and they're saying, well, we know with these votes, it might make sense for them to think about calling snap elections because they can be confident of another victory,
Mm.
which if you look at exactly as Kevon has posted has positioned those numbers. I mean, we will win if we call snap elections. But why would we want to cut our term by half? Cut our
Yeah.
term
Exactly.
in half.
Exactly.
It makes no sense.
They're
It makes
hoping
no
that we do.
sense.
They're hoping that we do. And it's not as if to say, all right, we have a one seat majority, that there's a possibility one can slip over. You know why? Our house are very strong. You understand? And we have a leader, the general secretary and vice president, that engage with every single one of his minister and members of the cabinet and his MPs, member of
Mm.
parliament. And we have a strong side. You understand? We don't have a side where somebody is bothered and somebody's considering, like in Charandas case. Charandas position, everybody jump up. Charandas is this. Charandas is a Judas and all these things. But they failed to realize that all they gave Charandas was a title, a member of parliament, and nothing else. When Charandas go back to his region, he cannot deliver because what, he's not being provided with the resources being in government. And for you to be, it's like counselor, it's like you now, you are a counselor within your area, you understand, but you can represent your people now on the government behalf. It's going to frustrate you sometime, and you might decide to say, know what, when we go to this next caucus meeting, I'm going to throw my vote over to APNU. You
Mm.
understand? And that was Charandar's position. He were
Right.
not
But
provided with the resources. And apart from that, he saw all the skullduggery that was going on under the entire coalition. Because the
yeah,
AFC didn't have a voice. They never had a voice.
they
You understand?
and in fact, and it wasn't that he just wasn't provided with the resources. It's that they actively made decisions that went contrary to the best interests of the people that he was meant to be representing as the MP as an MP based in Berbice, right? Actively made decisions that went against their interests. So I mean, yeah, it looks like they got caught by surprise, but they ought not have to. Sorry, could you give me 1 minute? My baby is. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back.
Courdel, I know the feelings that Mr.
Yeah,
Alfonso.
you
And
know it too well. You know
Courdel,
it
let
too
me tell you
well.
something. Literally, I'm like technically in the room. I just got locked up tight where you see the start. So I
Man,
just got, I just
man,
got,
Kevon.
I'm literally locked away in the room here. So I understand Mr. Alfonso's position.
Make I
Right?
spit up on the computer, buddy. Yeah, and you and the wife going for more. Y'all
Exactly.
try, y'all doing
Cordell,
well.
you make a joke with the cash grant that keep going up all the time. Yeah,
Oh
waste
my
time. I can
god.
make me out. So, Cordell,
So wait,
I know,
stop. Alfonso
you
off the
know, you got to
program
say
for a little
match
bit.
breaks.
Mass
Match
breaks,
breaks.
hold breaks. Alfonso off the program a little bit. I could deal with a couple of these people here before we bring you back on. So before we bring back on Alfonso, Winston Lewis, I want to talk about Raphael Trotman. I want to talk about Clifford Moses. And I want to talk about Mr. Hardin. So If you want,
Courdel,
you can call in the program and we can speak about those four individuals, including the one you want to talk about,
Courdel,
Winston Lewis. So Raphael Trotman, we want to talk about him. We want to talk about Clifford Moses in Bartica. We want to talk about him. And we want to talk about Mr. Harding in Georgetown. So when you're open to that discussion, Winston, you come on the program and we'll have a discussion about those three and the one you want to talk about as well.
and
Go ahead,
Courdel,
Kevon.
not forgetting. Yesterday, I was reminded of a
Mm,
certain former REO from Letem
mm.
also, who was involved in not one but more than one on numerous occasions of young
The
American
story
girls in
dirty.
Letem.
The story
You
dirty.
understand?
So
So
Winston,
let,
you come for me when you're ready. When you're ready, you
exactly.
come for me. But don't let me get distracted. We got Alfonso here. We bringing you back in. But I had to fix your business, Winston. Right? Go right ahead. Talk about all. But Winston, comrade, please call the numbers on the screen. I want you live in the discussion. Okay. I want you live in the discussion when we're talking about it. But back
we,
to
we can
Alfonso.
we can send him Winston here, Wapad. We can send you a link if you want. We can send you a link and bring you on
You
screen.
can click in. You can be like you
Just
saw
let me know.
Alfonso there.
Just
You're
let me
seeing, you're
know.
hearing him. We want you to come in, Winston, and you defend the people that we spoke about, and we can have a nice little rap about it. But nevertheless, back to Mr. Diarmos. Sorry about that,
No,
Alfonso.
that's all right.
Some of these people play the head in good, and they got very short-term memory. Very short-term memory, sir. But back to you.
Conveniently. Yes, yeah, Chief. So I must say that like what I've said earlier, I am confident that you will deliver. Um, However, you will have to deliver. When I said have to deliver, um, I always say something. If I was a member of parliament for the government, or even as much as a minister, or even within any capacity where I have to function, I could imagine the kind of work. And even here, that myself and Courdel can speak, we have to be on the ground all the time because we have a president that is out in the fields day and night. And you think about it, Counselor. If you are the boss and you working hard than your staff, then you got no need for them staff. So, brother, I wish you guys well. I know you guys have a lot of work to do, and I know you will deliver. I saw some person send me some message, and somebody sent me a message to ask you to check in an issue. I remember that street just now, and I would send you that. I would mention it. But Cordell, go ahead by the time. Let me just check for
All
the.
I want to tell Mr. Diarmas, please pass back by Miss Smith. Miss Smith is messaging me daily about the flooding that is being caused by the construction of that road. And that's the thing I was trying to explain to her, Alfonso. Um, to make an omelet, you gotta break a few eggs. So whilst they got a little flooding there because they're doing over the drains and they're making a 4 lane. What's the name of that street behind there, Alfonso?
I'm not certain.
So there's Campbell Avenue, and then there's the one before you get into Prashad Nagar that they're doing um going out to the railway embankment. Gosh, it's not Danrad Street. Anyway, so it's close to where Miss Smith is that you visited. I think it's just off of the Campbellville Health Center. They're doing that road there into 4 lane. Delft Street. Delft
Oh,
Street.
what? Oh, yeah, Delph
Right.
Street.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, that is the message. That's the message I just read it here. The young man is asking, or I think it's a young lady is asking. The Delft Street needs rehabilitating. That's the street. That's the message I was sent here.
Yeah, well, Delft Street is under construction currently.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so I know that. Yeah, I know yesterday. When His Excellency came, to meet with the residents of Newtown and with Lamaha Gardens, Minister Indar came as well, and we are having another meeting on Friday, with residents of Newtown and Minister Indar and the drainage authority. So the idea is to now spend some more time looking at the roads that need to be rehabilitated, and drop a plan, um, to start to get those things
Mm,
done
mm, mm,
as much
mm,
as we can.
mm. But what I was
Exactly.
explaining is that some of the residents might need to understand that a little discomfort is experienced when you're trying to accomplish development. You got to move some things around to fix them. So I was explaining to her that whilst currently she's experiencing some flooding because the drains are being redone. So the water doesn't have the same amount of runoff area. It is not something that is permanent, and in the end it will be better for the community in terms of drainage and relieving traffic congestion. So
Right.
it's for the greater good.
It's the
So
same. It's the same
yeah,
thing
Miss
going
Smith.
on. Yeah, Miss Smith. But it's the same thing going on Lamaha Street as well.
Mm,
Um, Lamaha Street. We're redoing Lamaha Street, and that's caused some drainage issues as well
mm,
in that area. But
mm,
it's like you said, some short term pain for long term gain. And it wouldn't have had to get to that stage if City Council had been looking after the roads and those drainage areas as they were meant to have been doing. But they've been very
mm.
negligent of our city.
Yeah, yeah. But Alfonso, I want to wish you the best. I know that you guys will accomplish a lot. How much I cannot say, but I know a lot will be done. And I know that you will be getting a fight and the resistance from those AP and UPNC councillors when you get on that council. But I beg, don't let that disenchant you. Continue to be the young, aggressive, pushy person that is looking for betterment for his constituency and by the city and the country at large. And I think that is one of the most important things driving persons like you who have stepped forward to become councillors. And even those who have not won their council seats, but continue to work in these communities that did not vote for them in some instances to try and still make these persons' lives better. And trust me, I am going to be on the ground to see what those persons on the other side, like Mr. Clayton Hines, who won Plum Park area still, and Mr. Jackman, who just came there, did more for Plum Park than Mr. Clayton Hines in the last 5 years. You understand? I am talking from 2015 to 2023, more than 5 years. And that he has been on that council representing that area.
There's
So
the church crapper, man. Yeah,
yeah. So
the
I
church
am I am
crapper.
glad that persons like you, Mr. Jackman, Dr. Maria Linden, Kwesi Joseph, Nicola Lewis in New Amsterdam, you guys have the energy, you have the enthusiasm, you have the ideas, and the good thing about it is that you come from these areas. So you know what the struggles are and you know what is needed to, alleviate them. So, I could only wish you the best in your tenure here as a council for that period that you're going to be on that council for.
Thank you, Courdel. And I want to say something. While when we get to council, we're gonna fight very hard to get our promises and to get our agenda implemented. We realize that we don't have the majority of seats in city council Georgetown yet. It's going to happen, but in the meantime, we're gonna also while we're gonna fight very hard to implement our agenda. Um,
Mm,
we hope that we can work also with the APNU folk there as well, because we ought to be working in the best interest of all Guyanese, right? So we hope we can find some common ground there with them as well. At the same time, while pushing tremendously hard for our transformative agenda to happen.
mm.
Exactly. Yeah, and what I can say to Counselor is that you know people people will say time and time that with God anything is possible. And the one thing you are to put at the back of your head as a now counselor, counselor elect, is that the first thing to bear in mind is that you are in government technically, and anything is possible I know you would not go there making wild promises because people can come and ask a whole lot of stuff, right? But there's a difference between wants and needs. And the needs is what the community, the entire community or the constituency that would be the need of the constituency of development. And once it's something, whether it's via infrastructure, whether it's via health, whether it's education, it is possible because why? At the end of the day, everything that in terms of development for the best interest of the people is possible because why? You are in government, right? And I'm 100% sure that none of the ministers within the relevant authorities will not see you fail as a counselor, and also they will not allow you as a counselor as well to not be effective because you have a manifesto there that you would have put together, you and your team, based on the consultations of the community, right?
Yes, exactly.
So
Yep.
when you see, like Courdel said, the challenges you have in the council and they're going to come after you, so on, just bear in mind that I am in government and I will deliver. They will talk. They can throw shades. They can call you all kind of name because that is the level they go at these caucuses and so on. You understand? I know how they operate. But watch them, smile, and at the end of the day, let them know that you will deliver because you are in government. And we gonna rightfully, like you said, we will increase in 2026. We will increase, and we're getting there slowly but gradually. You understand? So we don't have anything to worry. You have nothing to worry. And if they give
Yeah.
you more problem, call me or Courdel. And if you get in more problem, call Sally Jones and Soma B. Pat and Jillian Rose and them. They're right here. Call them. They're gonna we got you, brother. We got you. We know you're gonna make it, man. You're gonna make it.
I just thank you, man. I do want to say, again, this culture of calling people names. I've been called a ton of names already. Posted on social media, whatever. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. It only drives people more into our camp. So if you want to continue to
Exactly.
drive people into our camp, continue doing that. If you want to have a conversation based on ideas, based on policies, I'm here for that. I'm happy to do it and to show you why the PPP has been so successful, right? So I'm happy to engage on ideas and policies, but the minute you start calling names and whatever, I disengage.
Exactly, exactly. And I want to take this opportunity based on this comment as well, right? To say to that person who commented and all of our viewers, you know, this program is something that was put together by myself and Cordell. You guys wouldn't believe how this really started. Alphonse, you wouldn't believe it's just one phone call, and we decided that, two right thinking persons decided that, what? We think that the government's business needs to get out there more. The development of the country needs to be more highlighted. As much as our program might be seen as a political program, we still come here with the facts and we come on a level play field. We open the floor for everybody and anybody to come here and have a discussion. Once you're going to be respectful, once you're going to come here and you're going to criticize constructively, we limit. You ask anyone of them boys over there to bring me a Courdel on the program. You think they would do it? You think they would do it?
Please,
And
please,
we are
David
willing.
Sherrod or Mark. I just the three I want to go on. David Sherrod or Mark. Please,
And
please.
we will bring any one of them on this program. Any one of them. We open, we would bring them on. You feel they can come here? No, they're not going to come here. You understand? And we wouldn't stop them. But let us carry me and Cordell over there, no? We willing to go in their nests. You understand? There's no so much of criticism can distract us because we are all about positivity. We are all about building the nation. We are all about bringing the people together. We are all about supporting the president's initiative of a one Guyana. They're not about that. They're not one Guyana. They are a one race Guyana. That's what they're about, right? But brother, in moving forward, you know, um, we have a lot of confidence in you. As you can see, if you can read the comments after the program, the people here have the confidence in you. right? And I can tell you that you have positive thinking people here. And on a serious note, like I said, I mean, you have people within the high caliber who's gonna be there to advise you and guide you and so on. But on the street level, we got you, brother. We got you 100%. We got you. Just let we know. You understand? Courdel is there closer to you. Touch base with Courdel. He will be there on the spot. And let me tell you, Courdel is one of them that they don't want to see or hear about, because in Courdel, in their view, in their sight, Courdel is an Afro-Guyanese. So technically, Courdel will be a house slave in the sight of them. You understand?
A
And
soup
those are coming out.
drinking, sir, a soup drinking house slave.
Okay,
Soup
sir.
drinking
Thanks
house
for the
slave.
correction.
Correction. Get it right.
I saw Courdel. I saw a comment by one Ricky MP. Ricky, what's his name? You know him, one of the MP. He's a AFC MP with the coalition. The first thing,
Ramsarup?
So no,
yeah, Ricky
no,
Ramsarup.
this is the guy. This is the guy that when Letitia Wright, Letitia Wright, the new Black Panther came to Guyana. He did opposition forever. That's the guy.
Exactly. Now, when I saw this guy, when I saw this Ricky Ramsarup guy, I know him. I know him in person. When I saw his constant posts on Facebook, I wanted to believe that he has a problem with his phone, his keyboard, that keep giving him that typo error. But I wanted to know as well if he have a typo error with his mouth when he speak, because he speak even worse than how he texts and how he put his posts out there. You understand? And this is a member of parliament. This is somebody who wants to go in government. Well, if you go into government, my brother, because I see tell me that I can left on a stick standing in the middle of the ocean.
What?
You understand? But
The
he
story
failed to read.
stick, you heavy
I
bad
sure
as a
you.
story stick, bite.
But I saw somebody asking me in the comment that you forgot that technically in the sight of David Hines, you're a slave catcher.
Oh,
You
lad.
understand?
Oh,
Right? So,
lad.
Oh,
bro,
yeah.
these people, but I'm sorry, Ricky is still my brother. I have no problem with you, but I welcome your comment, but you need to really fix your grammatical error as a member of parliament. I really would like to advise you on that.
Low. But anyway, Ricky, opposition forever. Alfonso, Council forever. Kevon, Linden forever. Are the rap forever? That's it. Thank you guys for tuning in to the program. It was wonderful being here with you. Alfonso, thank you for coming on the program this morning. I know you're a busy guy, but you find the time and we appreciate it to interact with the Guyanese public, to interact with the Guyanese in diaspora, and to bring information about what's happening in your constituency and how you plan to effect change now that you have been elected a councillor to represent that area. Guys, thank you for having me on the program again. Over to Kevon for the final wrap-up.
Thank you,
All right,
guys.
So that's it. That's it for this morning again. And I must say again, on behalf of myself and Team Rap and our viewers here, Mr. Councillor, we want to say thank you for being here, and we want to say thank you in advance for your works that will be put out in the next 3 years in council. And we know you're gonna make it. Like we started, you're gonna make it, man. Right? So thank you guys once more for being a part of the program. Tomorrow morning we will be having Mr. Orwing Ward from Bartica. He will be on for tomorrow, so ensure you tune in as well. And continue to share even as the program ends. Continue to share it so the message can get out there. As you can see, when we come here, there is nothing, we don't talk anything to distract anybody. All right, so before I close, any other thing, Courdel, before I close?
No, just Mr. Alfonso, Mr. Diarmos, Council Diarmos, to just give us a final word before we head off this live here in closing.
Oh, well, thanks for having me on. And I want to encourage all Guyanese who are listening It's time now that the campaign is finished. Elections have a way of bringing us apart. But now that the campaign is finished, it's time now we all have to live and work and thrive as Guyanese and not as party supporters, right? At the end of the day, we have to play our part in transforming Guyana into the country that we wish to see it. So I want to encourage all of you now not to see your friend, your colleague as a PNC supporter or a PPP supporter, but as a Guyanese. That's the only way that we can really drive transformation here.
Nice. Thank you for that. All right, guys. So thank you once more, Mr. Alfonso, for being with us this morning. And thank you to all our continuous and supportive viewers. And we will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. And this is my time for today.
This is Quincy Anderson. You know I love my country. There's no other country better than mine. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil to one Guyana.